Okay, today I am going to follow up with the sequel that I promised, the drama of the resurrection. So let's start with Mark's Gospel because Mark was the first Gospel that was written. Uh, in Mark's Gospel, it says thus, Mark 16, after the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome bought spices to go and anoint the body of Jesus. Very early on Sunday morning at sunrise, they went to the tomb. On the way, they said to one another, "Who will roll away the stone from the entrance to the tomb?" It was a very large stone. Then they looked up and saw that the stone had already been rolled back. So they entered the tomb, where they saw a young man sitting on the right, wearing a white robe, and they were alarmed. "Don't be alarmed," he said. "I know you are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He is not here. He has been raised. Look, here is the place where they put him. Now go and give this message to his disciples, including Peter. He is going to Galilee ahead of you. There you will see him just as he told you." So they went out and ran from the tomb, distressed and terrified. They said nothing to anyone because they were afraid. Okay, you can see in Mark's Gospel, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome, three women, they are going on Sunday morning, early as sunrise, bringing the spices. Remember, they had gone home to prepare the spices, but because it was a Sabbath, they could not come back with the spices on Saturday morning, right? So now on Sunday morning, once the Sabbath is over, and obviously in the night time they cannot come to the tomb. It's scary. So they came early morning at sunrise and they went to the tomb. On the way, they were wondering, three women, how will we roll away the stone? The stone was very big. So when they reached there, they saw that it was already rolled back. So they entered the tomb. They saw a young man who was sitting on the right wearing a white robe, and they were alarmed. "This is not Jesus." "Don't be alarmed," he said. "I know you are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, and he is raised. Now look here." And then after convincing them that Jesus was not there and he wasn't, a ghost or whatever, he tells them, "Now go give the message to his disciples, including Peter," specifically mentioning Peter's name, "and tell him that Jesus is going to Galilee ahead of you and you will see him over there." Now these women, what do? They go out, they run away from the tomb, and they are so scared and so terrified that they say nothing to anyone. Okay, please keep this one important point in mind because we'll see now what Matthew has to say. So we're going now to Matthew because Matthew always writes from Mark's Gospel. So we'll see what he says in regard to this. In chapter 28, after the Sabbath, as Sunday morning was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. Suddenly there was a violent earthquake. An angel of the Lord came down from heaven, rolled the stone away and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid that they trembled and became like dead men. The angel spoke to the women. "You must not be afraid," he said. "I know you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He has been raised, just as he said. Come here and see the place where he was lying. Go quickly now and tell his disciples. He has been raised from death, and now he is going to Galilee ahead of you. There you will see him. Remember what I have told you." So they left the tomb in a hurry, afraid and yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. Suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Peace be with you." They came up to him, took hold of his feet and worshipped him. "Do not be afraid," Jesus said to them. "Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me." So you can see, though Matthew picks from Mark's Gospel, he has added his own masala over here. especially with regard to the moving of the tomb and the guards and all that. He's made a big, a drama out of it, and that is Matthew's style of trying to show how awesome this experience is, how awesome this event is. He wants to present to the Jews, because the Jews just would not believe that Jesus was the Messiah, and he was trying his level best now by giving all these dramatic things happening, that Jesus is truly the Messiah. And so the angel tells them the same kind of dialogues that was in Mark, you will see here in Matthew as well. Okay, a little bit here and there changed, but again Jesus is going to Galilee, etc. But here you see a twist in the story. The women, instead of not telling anybody anything in Mark's gospel, in Matthew's gospel they are going and running to tell the disciples, and now they are afraid, but they are also full of joy. And lo and behold, before they reach the disciples, Jesus meets them, and Jesus says, "Peace be with you." So they are the first ones who actually get to see Jesus, and then they worship him, and then he tells them, "Go and tell the brothers that please go to Galilee, and there they will see me." So Matthew has given a very different look to the story. Now let's go to Luke and see what Luke has to say. Luke says in the 24th chapter, very early on Sunday morning, the women went to the tomb, carrying the spices they had prepared. They found the stone rolled away from the entrance of the tomb, and they went in, but they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus Christ. They stood there puzzled about this, when suddenly 2 men in bright, shining clothes stood by them. Full of fear, the women bowed to the ground as the men said to them, "Why are you looking among the dead for one who is alive? He is not here. He has been raised. Remember what he said to you while he was in Galilee. The Son of Man must be handed over to sinful men, be crucified, and 3 days later rise to life. Then the women remembered his words, returned from the tomb, and told all these things to the 11 disciples and all the rest. The women were Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary, the mother of James. They and the other women with them told these things to the apostles. But the apostles thought that what the women said was nonsense. They did not believe them. But Peter got up and ran to the tomb. He bent down and saw the linen wrappings, but nothing else. Then he went back home amazed at what had happened. So again, Luke's gospel takes another twist altogether. Over here, the women, he had never mentioned the women in the previous passage. You remember? Yesterday's passage, he does not mention the names. He just says women. And these same women are coming back to the tomb with the spices that they had prepared. And they find the stone rolled away. They are not perplexed about it or anything. And they don't find the body of Jesus. They are just sitting there looking at how, there's no body, what is happening. They're a little puzzled. And then suddenly 2 men come in shining clothes. And then they get fearful. Okay, they're full of fear now. They bow to the ground, and the men say to them, "Why are you among the dead?" All that, and remember what he said. And then this particular statement, which is not there in Mark and Matthew, obviously, says, "The Son of Man must be handed over to sinful men, be crucified, and 3 days later rise to life." Now Luke is writing, obviously, not just to Jews, he's writing to the Gentiles. Yeah, and he's trying to convince the Gentiles about the certain things that Jesus said, which have come through. Then the women remembered his words, returned from the tomb, and told all these things to the 11 disciples. So they told everybody who was there, and now finally Luke names them as Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James. It looks like he has had an afterthought, and he feels bad that he has not, named them by name, and he has put the names in. And then they and the other women were very happy. They went and tell the apostles, and the apostles thought that these women are mad. What they're talking is nonsense. They did not believe them. Again a twist. But Peter got up, ran to the tomb. He bent down, saw the linen wrapping, and he went back home amazed. So only Peter, Luke is showing, only Peter who believed them and ran to the tomb to check. Okay, he was the only one who felt that he needed to go and check. Now let's see what John has to say, because John's gospel is way beyond sometimes our understanding. Early on Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been taken away from the entrance. She went running to Simon Peter and the other disciple whom Jesus loved and told them, "They have taken the Lord from the tomb and we don't know where they have put him." Then Peter and the other disciples went to the tomb. The two of them were running, but the other disciple ran faster than Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and saw the linen wrappings, but he did not go in. Behind him came Simon Peter, and he went straight into the tomb. He saw the linen wrappings lying there and the cloth which had been round Jesus' head. It was not lying with the linen wrappings, but was rolled up by itself. Then the other disciple, who had reached the tomb first, also went in. He saw and believed. In brackets, they still did not understand the scriptures which said that he must rise from death. Then the disciples went home. Now I want to read the next passage because it's connected to this passage very much so that Mary Magdalene was the only woman, the first person to see the tomb was empty, and she goes immediately and she tells Peter and John, "Come running." And Peter goes in. John stands outside for a while, maybe scared or what, we don't know. And then later on he comes inside too and he believes. Now what happens to Mary Magdalene? Does she go back with them? No. Mary stood crying outside the tomb. While she was still crying, she bent over and looked into the tomb and saw two angels there, dressed in white, sitting where the body of Jesus had been, one at the head, other at the feet. "Woman, why are you crying?" they asked her. She answered, "They have taken my Lord away, and I don't know where they have put him." Then she turned round and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know it was Jesus. "Woman, why are you crying?" Jesus asked her. "Who is it that you are looking for?" She thought he was the gardener. So she said to him, "If you took him away, sir, tell me where you have put him, and I will go and get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned towards him and said in Hebrew, Rabboni, which means teacher. "Do not hold on to me," Jesus told her, "because I have not yet gone back to the Father. Go to my brothers and tell them that I am returning to him who is my Father and their Father, my God and their God." So Mary Magdalene went and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord and related to them what he had told her. So why did I add this little bit to the drama? Because this is the climax actually of this whole episode. In John's Gospel, as I told you, John has a completely different perspective of the whole thing, and he comes up with something so beautiful. He says that Mary Magdalene did not abandon the place. She didn't run back and go back disappointed. She just stood there crying because she just couldn't bear to be parted from God, from Jesus. And as she was there, she saw these angels, and then she saw Jesus, but she didn't believe that it was Jesus. I mean, she couldn't recognize him. She thought it was a gardener. And she said, "If you've taken him away, please bring his body. I'll take it with me." And then Jesus utters this beautiful name of Mary, And I can just imagine Jesus saying that to me, "My name is Auriel, so Auriel." And you can think of your own name and she's saying that to you. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful moment that would be. And she immediately recognized the voice and recognized the way the word was said. And she said in Hebrew, Rabboni. And I'm sure that even the way she said it must have been really so beautiful. And then he said, no, don't hold on to me now. Just hold on to me, not physically hold on, but don't get attached to me. I'm not yet gone back to the Father. Go and tell the brothers, tell them I'm returning. And now he doesn't say I'm going to Galilee. He says I'm returning to him who is my Father and their Father, my God and their God. Isn't that an amazing thing? That all through John's Gospel, if you read, he's only talking about himself and the Father, and how he is in the Father and the Father is in him, and how we have to be in him in order to be like that, to have that kind of relationship. So Mary goes back and tells the disciples all that has happened, and she says, I've seen the Lord. Wow. So this is a beautiful drama of the resurrection. Happy Easter to you all.